Hi everyone and welcome back to Gods Enchantments channel. I'm Claire. Today I'm going to be doing a walkthrough and review of the Green Witch Tarot. So here it is. Here's its box. It's a beautifully illustrated box. Green, one of the pictures from the cards on the front. On the back you have a little bit of bump about it. You have a picture of the book, a couple of cards. It is a 78 card deck and the book is 264 pages. And this book is really based around green witchcraft and that practice. So it's not a traditional type deck. So that may decide and sway on if this is something that appeals to you. I'll read the back of the box for you and it will give you kind of an idea, feel for the energy of the deck that the writer and artist had in mind. So enter the world of the Green Witch, where elementals, fairies and spirits of the earth help you align with the natural energies of the old religion. With the turn of each card, the Green Witch Tarot opens a channel between the reader and the spiritual beings of nature. Beautifully illustrated, and it tells you her name, which I cannot say, which I'll show you in a minute, and accompanied by a comprehensive guidebook for easy interpretation. This deck unlocks the energetic wisdom you can use to find the answers you seek. So here is the Moura, or Moira. But the artist is here and I cannot say her name, or maybe his name. I do not know. I have never seen this artist before, but I actually do want to look into it and see if they do any prints, because this is wonderful artwork. I will say that off the bat, regardless of what I think of the cards or not. The art in here is absolutely stunning. So you get your big box like so. Then you get me knocking things down. Then you get your 76 cards, which are a standard tarot deck size. They come in this always oversized, ugly white box that they put in here. They try and tell you, Llewellyn always tries to tell you you can decorate these and keep your deck in it. I've personally never bothered. But, you know, if you're artsy craftsy, maybe that's for you. So they come in there. You have your deck, which has this beautiful pentagram on the back of it. That is the design throughout the whole deck. And you get your book. A little bit of weirdness here. And it's obviously deliberate because the picture on the back shows it as so. But I find it weird. It's called the Green Witch Tarot, and this is beautifully green, and the cards are based around green to fit the theme. But when it came to the book, they made the decision to go blue. So it's a small thing. It doesn't affect the book or the cards. It's just something I found a bit interesting and didn't really quite get. I think it would have been nicer had it been green. So your book is, I'm not sure if this is printed on recycled paper. I can't find anything that says so, but it's kind of a grey coloured paper throughout. You have the Major Arcana, which has the full-size picture. You get a page and a bit of information on that card here. You also have your meaning reversed and prompt words for that card. You then get this handy dandy page here that you can write on, and this is for every single one of the Major Arcana cards in the deck. Now, if you are an intuitive reader, you don't really like to go by what the book says, you put your own meanings to the cards in line with how you read tarot. This is quite a good thing to have because you can actually work with each card individually. You can read what the author and the artist had in mind, and then you can make your own notes here. Now, when we get to the minor, they do not have that page for notes, but you still get the full size, you still get all the information, and the same, your prompts reversed meaning at the bottom of the book. So the book is quite large and quite comprehensive. So it would be good if you are new to tarot and you're not really drawn to the traditional type, and you do practice paganism, Wicca, witchcraft, you relate somewhere on that level, ritual, earth magic, then this may be a really nice deck for you to get started with or add to your collection. So the deck itself, like I say, is 76 cards, cardstock. Oh, there it goes. We'll talk about that in a minute. Flimsy, unfortunately. It's like a really high quality paper as opposed to card. So if you're someone who does quite a rough shuffle, you like to split your cards, riffle them, this probably is not going to hold up too well. If you are a standard shuffler like this, you're probably going to fare better with these cards. Longevity wise, if you are a reader and you're using them for those purposes, these may not hold up too good, because like I say, they are pretty bendy, pretty flimsy. The other thing worth mentioning with them is they are really slippy. I mean, if I so much as do that, if I let go of it, the whole deck will go. And I know some people really do not like that. They want to be able to place their cards down and not have the tiniest movement send them flying off, particularly if you do work with clients face to face or via the internet somehow. The last thing you want is your cards going everywhere, dropping on the floor. This is one of those super slippy, shiny decks. So that's worth a note depending on how you work with your tarot. So let's talk about the cards, the art. I have to look into this artist because this has some of the most stunning art. This is the Horned God. Isn't he magnificent? I want this in a print. It is a must-have. I must find a way to get it. I'm hoping the artist does do prints of these cards, or they're available somehow, because that is just stunning. Often I find in tarot decks they don't put a lot of effort into the male deity cards. Often it's just thrown in as a token, and the art's nowhere near as good as the goddess art in decks. But this one really is pretty consistent all the way through and has some really nice male images to boot. So that is the Horned God. 7 of Wands. Knight of Chalices. These are very people based. So again, do you like people in your cards? Do you prefer like scenic images? These are virtually all have people in some way or another. If you are an intuitive reader, then there's some really lovely imagery here for you to work from. If you just like working with the images alone, you can get a good feel straight away. As you can see, all the cards do say what they are at the bottom, regardless if they are major or minor arcana. So you'll be able to find them in the book easy enough, because at the front, all of the majors have their name and their page. Then the pentacles, the chalices, the wands, the athames, they give you the start page for each of those sections. So it's easy for you to find if you are using the book as your reference and to learn. They're nice bright cards. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Obviously, because they are called the Green Witch, there's a lot of witch themes in here. You've got a lot of tools being used, ritual being done. You've got lots of reference to herbal magic, different flowers, herbs, animals. I love this one as well. That's lovely. But you see what I mean about there's a lot of people. Some don't like that on their decks. So it's really completely up to you. Oh, look at that. The art is truly stunning. Look at that one. And the kitty. I'm a sucker for a kitty. If there's not a kitty in the deck, wow. Look at that image. Let's just take a moment. How stunning. That's the other thing with this deck. If you want to use a deck as part of your altar, if you want to do daily draws and place those cards on the altar, if you want to deliberately go into a deck and pick cards of the energies that you're working with on that altar, or you want cards to represent an energy, a deity, something like that, this is a really lovely deck to do that with because the art is so beautiful. It is very connected to ritual and magic. So you're bound to find a card in here that's in line with what you're working with. And obviously it is a tarot deck, so all energies are represented. These are also really good cards for using if you do tarot spells and rituals. So you want to actually use them for magic. So I would really recommend them for that. Look at that. Fabulous green man. Look at that one. How beautiful. So I'm not going to go through every single one with you because it will ruin the surprise of you getting them. This is the card from the front of the box and everything. But they are just stunningly beautiful. I will find you one of the meanings in the books for us to take a look at. What should we go for? Try and find one that really represents what this deck is about, because if you are after a more traditional deck, this probably isn't going to suit you. So the Lady and the Lord. This card shows the harmony between the goddess and the god, working together, making choices and decisions together with a unity of heart and mind. This partnership infers a conscious decision in which the intellect works with the emotions. Here the deities are united by their mutual interest in the hunt, each with hound and weapons of choice. The goddess wears a circlet with her symbol, the silver-horned moon, while the god wears a circlet with his symbol, the golden sun disk. Moon and sun working together to benefit Earth. For without the moon there would be no tides, and without the sun there would be no life. Her silver bracelet shows the wisdom of the snake, while his golden Ouroboros armband, that was a mouthful, wasn't it? Where am I? I've lost it now. Depicting a snake with its tail in its mouth shows the cycle of life reflecting in nature and the galaxy. They acknowledge their cosmic role as well as their earthly roles in the cycle of life carried out willingly. Relating the card to Beltane and the May Day union of the goddess and the god in partnership. Choices in life may be driven by desire, ambition, preference, or necessity, but they require a clear idea of priorities. The presence of this card in a spread indicates that a decision needs to be made, and if it is not, the choice may fall into the hands of another. Many times this relates to deciding whether a person will make a good partner in life or choosing between two potential partners. Accepting emotional ties shows a willingness to experience a transformation that takes place through trust. There are new opportunities for growth through commitment, as well as the need for loyalty to and from the chosen partner, a need for mutual agreement and respect. The lady and the lord of nature stand before a large oak tree representing truth, wisdom, and loyalty, and sacred to both the goddess and the god of nature, who were venerated in oak groves in ancient times. Their hounds represent and accompany the goddess and the god in their aspects of huntress and leader of the wild hunt. Meaning: decisions, partnership, trust, balance of opposites, careful consideration of choices, collaboration, harmony, commitment, love despite differences, loyalty, emotional ties, and camaraderie. Then it gives you the reversed and some prompt words. In this case, it would be decisions needed with a partner or about a partner. So as you can see, the book itself, the cards themselves, the card meanings, as the name suggests, all have a very Wiccan, pagan, witchcraft feel. So they're not going to give you necessarily the traditional meanings of the cards. They've put their own spin on it, and that has been related back to magical practice. So if you want to learn more about practice, if you want to learn more about the Sabbats and the energies that come along with those, if you want to learn more about earth magic, this is a great deck to do that with. If you want a deck that's going to be traditional meanings, that's going to stand by a traditional deck but just have some nicer artwork, this probably isn't the deck for you. With myself, I don't particularly connect with this deck as a reader, and I do draws for myself every day. I also work as a tarot reader through Goddess Enchantments, in between making all the other magical goodies that we have, and I don't really use this deck too often unless something really calls for it and we're going down this route with the question. For me, I like this deck for an art purpose and a part of my collection. I like to have the cards out on my altar to represent energies I might be working with or want to call in, and for tarot magic, but it's a bit flimsy for my purposes, and I know it's going to get damaged really quickly. It's already, I doubt it will show in camera, but it's barely been used for actual reading, and it's already scuffed at the sides on a lot of the cards. So it's going to get raggedy really quick, and it's going to destroy the art. So I kind of keep it as an art piece, as an altar deck, and a magical working deck, as opposed to a reading deck. But you may love this for reading. Just be gentle with it and keep it carefully, obviously. But it is a really nice deck with a lovely nature connection and a more of a witchcraft connection than, like, it says green witch, but honestly it's witch in general, in my opinion, from the meanings of the cards, from the art on the cards. Yes, there are more references to fae in here, like this one, Seven of Chalices, has some fae in it, but I wouldn't say there's anything that particularly in my eye makes it green, as opposed to just a witch deck. But that is the end of that. So I hope you have enjoyed this review and a bit of a walkthrough. I didn't do a full look through this deck as it is a large deck, and I know a lot of you, when it comes to tarot, funnily enough, tarot over oracle cards, you like to see all the oracle cards and you like some surprises with your tarot decks. So I'm trying that new thing now for you, where I don't show all the tarot deck, but I do mostly show all the oracle cards, and they tend to be smaller decks anyway. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can hit the little bell and it will let you know when I upload. If you want to see more from me, then go in the description down below under this video and you can find a link to my closed Facebook group where I go live at least once a week. Usually quite a long video. We end up over an hour with all sorts of, I do readings in there, free card pulls, we talk about crystals, we learn about ritual and all sorts of things. So it all happens in the group. You can also find the website address down below where you can go and see crystals, my handmade candles, ritual sets and all the rest of it. So that is it from me. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Blessed be.